Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm really pleased to have Kenji Asakura, MD, in a short interview with the Darwinian Doctor platform here. And Kenji Asakura is a board certified internal medicine physician, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and co founder of the semi retired MD platform, along with his wife, Letizia, also MD. And as you all know, I'm Daniel Shin, MD, founder of the Darwinian Doctor, and a former student of your course, Zero to Freedom, through Cash Flowing Rentals. Personally, I credit your course in really accelerating my investing path. And at the time when I started it, I think I had 3 units. And now, just a little while later, I'm up to 28 units worth about $9 million. So, two of my uh, properties in particular are luxury short-term rentals. And that's a very popular asset class for physicians. So now Semi-Retired MD, it has a course specifically designed to teach people how to invest in short-term rentals called Accelerating Wealth, Short-Term Rental Blueprint. So that's why you're here to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I guess one of the first questions I had for you, Kenji, is, why did you guys decide to develop a course specifically for short-term rentals?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have our Zero to Freedom course, which really teaches you how to buy properties of any type. But short-term rentals are very different because you're furnishing them. It's less about housing. It's a lot more about customer experience and guest experience. And so it's you're really kind of shifting into a different type of business model. It's more like hotels as opposed to housing. And so we saw a lot of people in our community going into short-term rentals. And one of the real drivers of us creating this course was my experience investing in real estate, investing through recessions and downturns. And we just wanted to make sure that the people who went through our courses had access to a resource that would help them really make sure that they thought about risk as they invested in their short-term rentals. And so I started investing in 2001, and 2001 was it was a recessionary time. Actually, it was right after 9/11, and the economy tanked after that. And then I was also investing heavily during the 2008 downturn. And I think that that experience really has informed what we put into Zero to Freedom. But I also have experience with short-term rentals, midterm rentals, going all the way back to 2006. And back then they weren't even called short-term rentals; they were just called furnished rentals. So it was a difference between unfurnished rentals and furnished rentals. And I just happened to furnish my rental, and I ended up renting them out more on the midterm. Not necessarily short term, but it was a very similar process. There was no Airbnb. Airbnb was founded in 2008. And so so I have a lot of experience with it, but I also have seen how those furnished rentals can go bad, right? If you don't know how to run and operate a furnished rental or short-term rental profitably. And it also requires, I think, a lot more business skills than a regular rental property, because again, you're dealing with customers, customer experience. You're talking about customer feedback and reviews, right? So it operates much like a regular business, and most people don't know how. Most doctors don't know how to run a business. They don't have the experience running business. I have business experience going all the way back to 1998 or 1997 actually, when I started my first startup, and also worked at McKinsey and Company, a management consulting company, and also started multiple other companies. And so, and Leticia also has a number of years of business experience as well. So combined, we have a lot of experience. We have gone through a lot of training as well, business training. One of our mentors is Keith Cunningham, just an amazing business leader. And so we put all that into the course. There was a lot of business concepts that we put into the course. There's a lot about thinking about risk is a really important part of business. What people say is that it's easy to make money, but it's harder to keep it, right? And so you can go out and maybe it starts out great. Maybe your short-term rental starts out great, but the key is sustaining that, right, over the long haul. So, as competitors, they get better, right? As the people in your as more and more people get into short-term rentals, you're going to have all this competition, and then you're also going to get more professional operators. And so, if you don't keep up with that, right, and this is very common in business, is that if you don't keep up with the competition, there's a really great chance that you will go from profitable to not profitable very quickly, unless you adapt and change and you're constantly improving yourself.
That is such a good point because, as I mentioned, I have two luxury short-term rentals, and they started off really well, but there's definitely been a lot of, certainly a huge learning curve, and also a lot of things that have happened along the way. The uh, thing that I'm working on now is trying to treat it more like a business with advertising, social media, all these things that make a really big difference to kind of differentiate you. Are things that I'm working on now. So that's such a good point. And, I see short-term rental, especially, at this sort of monetary value of short-term rental as kind of a higher risk, higher reward type of thing. Do you see it that way as well?
Yeah, I do. Oftentimes there's a correlation between there's a if the more return that you get, the higher the risk, right? So there's kind of this correlation. It's kind of an inverse correlation, but there's a correlation there. And but I think there's one factor with short-term rentals which I wouldn't say neutralizes it, but I think it's another factor that's really important, which is the tax benefits, right? So you could be working full time and you can use short-term rentals to shelter your W-2 or 1099 income. Now, we would not advise that anybody go out and buy a short-term rental just for the tax benefits, right? Like at the end of the day, no tax benefit is worth investing in a property if you're losing money on that property. At least in our opinion, So what you want to do is you want to buy a profitable short-term rental, and then the tax benefits are really secondary, right? It's a great benefit, and you want to make sure that you capture that benefit, but you don't want that to be the primary driver of your investing. You want to first go out and buy a profitable short-term rental, learn how to operate it profitably over the long term, and then along the way you take advantage of the tax benefits as well. So yeah, so I think it's a good it can be a good investment if you know what you're doing, but on top of that, it's a little cherry on top. You get that extra benefit of the tax benefits.
Absolutely. I think that's really a reason why physicians in particular are drawn to this asset class, because most physicians are full time. And when you see how much you pay in taxes when you make a physician's salary, it can be kind of heartbreaking. And that's the special thing about short term rentals. There's a loophole in the tax code where you can operate as an active business. And if you fulfill all the rules, deduct those losses against your active income. And you don't have to be a real estate professional to do it. So, yeah, that was actually what drove me to invest in the short-term rentals a couple of years ago. I've since arranged my life where this year I'll be going for real estate professional status, which changes the calculus a little bit. But that was why 2021 and 2022 were big, for the short-term rentals for me. So excellent. So could you tell us a little bit about the format of the course? How is it structured?
Yeah, so the course is it's a combination of content and community is how I think about it, kind of at the highest level. And you can get content anywhere, right? You can look on YouTube, you can look on there are a lot of courses out there, but I think what makes us very unique is that it's very curated, so you get only the information you need, but then it's supported by the community. And I think that's one of the biggest differences. When we first started investing in real estate, we didn't have a community like the communities that are out there now, and we formed an amazing community of investors, both long-term rentals and short-term rentals. And so what we've been able to do is provide a lot of support in the course. The community consists of not only your cohort, the people you're taking the course with, but also we support it with coaches. So we actually hire coaches. These are people who went through our courses, and who have been very successful with short-term rentals. And they are coming in, and we actually do something called open office hours. And you can go in and you can ask them questions. You can ask them about their market. You can also present deals to them, and they can help you analyze them. And then on top of that, we also have a number of volunteer mentors who come in who just literally donate their time because they love the community. They just want to help their fellow colleagues. And so you get a lot of support. And I think it's actually even better than having something like a one-on-one coach, because you get the perspectives of multiple people, right? Multiple different markets. It's not just one market or the market that one coach might have experience in. You can actually get a really broad input, especially I think it especially helps when you're trying to choose a market, because you can kind of ask about different markets, you can learn about different markets, and before you actually make your choice of market.
Wonderful. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that the community that you and Letitia have built is really special. It's really the secret sauce to your education. And I learned so much just by interacting in the Facebook group and just from the other mentors and everything like that. And I continue to learn from your community. Um, so how can people sign up if this is something that they're interested in?
Yeah, so the course sale starts on April 24th. That's Monday, April 24th. And there's, for the first 3 days, the 24th, 25th, and 26th, there is what's called a waitlist sale. So it's $200 off the course. And then starting on the 27th all the way to May 3rd is the regular sale, and that's going to be at the regular price. But so if somebody wants to get in and get that discount, then they want to definitely buy during that 3-day sale period.
Perfect. And I'm going to have a special link for my audience available so you can sign up. And yeah, I'm really excited. This is a really good opportunity. I just wanted to close by saying that there's a lot of economic turmoil right now, and a lot of people find a lot of fear in things like interest rates and things like that. But even if people aren't going to necessarily pull the trigger right now, which many people will, I always espouse, and I think I've heard you also say that it's very important to learn skills now so you can jump on opportunities when and if they come.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that something we always say, and I know you share this as well, is that it's never the wrong time to learn, right? I mean, you didn't defer or wait to start medical school until you saved up the money for it, right? You know, you just went and did it because you knew that that was going to give you the skills necessary to then go out and become a doctor, and then you'd pay off those loans afterwards. So, you know, ultimately, if you want to change your future, if you want to change your situation, let's say you're working long hours, and with declining reimbursements, you're working even harder for the same pay, let's say, and you want to make a change, you want to do something differently. Well, then you're going to have to acquire the skills in order to be able to pursue those things to change your life, right, and change the trajectory of your future. And so yeah, so we think, you know, learning is extremely valuable, and there's really trying to time learning to me doesn't make sense. You know, I think, you know, if you want to acquire certain skills, start today, right? And like you said, the other thing is that there is when there's economic turmoil, that's when there are a lot of opportunities. And everything that we teach is all about helping you find great deals, helping you, ensuring that you don't take these risks, right? And again, that's going back to the beginning of the conversation. You know, we want to make sure that people don't go out there and take big risks and make mistakes. Like, the other big thing is that having a community can help you limit your mistakes. You know, you don't know what you don't know, right? And so ideally, you have somebody in the community who knows the exact situation you're in and can help you avoid a mistake in the future. And if you can do those things, if you can avoid mistakes, if you can educate yourself and be prepared to jump on those great opportunities, if you can learn the skills that you need to buy great deals in any environment, then, you know, you're going to be well on your way to being able to be successful with short-term rentals and in real estate in general.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us a little bit about this experience, about this opportunity. Thank you, Kenji. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Daniel.